Welcome to the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Steve Van Meter. If you remember what I look like, your senior minister. I want to start out by thanking Nan Bankston, who sat in for me last week when I was out of town. And it was wonderful to have a little time off. And I don't know if you caught Nan's talk or not, but if you didn't, even if you did, it's worth a review. She just a dynamite speaker and just a great talk. So I invite you to go back and look up her talk from last week because it was really outstanding. Anyway, here we are. It is Sunday. It is the last Sunday of July, and our theme for this month has been unchained spirituality. And what that theme about unchained spirituality means to me is that there are no boundaries. And today is entitled The Tao of Freedom. The Tao of Freedom. So freedom is more than just something that we receive. And for some, as the Black Lives Matter movement has shown us, sometimes freedom is more difficult to obtain. Sometimes it takes blood, sweat, and tears for this to happen for people. But if we are one, why are some born free and others have to fight to be free? If we truly believe that we're all one, we need to stop fighting against ourselves. Because whenever we fight someone else on something, we're really wrestling with our own angels. So God, Spirit, cannot be bound or enslaved or imprisoned, which means the truth of us is also that freedom is a divine right. You chose to be here, and that's freedom. And a divine way of life is to be experienced by all regardless of race, their political party, or their sexual orientation. Man, woman, child, ET, if you believe in that sort of thing, we're all one. There's only one power here, no matter what you believe. While this is true, many still experience this enslavement, this imprisonment, and being held captive or hostage. Sometimes in physical ways, and sometimes we do this to ourselves in mental ways. But we bind ourselves with ideas, with concepts and beliefs that are not the capital T truth of who and what we truly are. So the Tao of freedom, and Tao means the way of, how it operates. So what is the Tao of freedom? The Tao of freedom is gifting ourselves and others with the ability to live freely while at the same time bringing this truth to others who may currently be enslaved or held back, incarcerated, or have trauma around the idea of being a prisoner. And our job, if we do feel free, is to find those who don't and bring them up in consciousness, or whatever may be holding them down, figure it out and allow them to have the freedom that we enjoy. So Taoism is part philosophy and part religion. It emphasizes doing what is natural, going with the flow in accordance with the Tao, a cosmic force which follows through and flows through all things. According to Ernest Holmes, the divine plan is one of freedom. Bondage is not God ordained. Freedom is the birthright of every living soul and every living thing. The inherent nature of the human being is forever seeking to express itself in terms of this freedom. We do well to listen to this inner voice, for it tells of a life wonderful in its scope, of a love beyond our fondest dreams, of a freedom which the soul craves. Does your soul crave freedom? Well, I'm sure if you didn't have it, that it would. Because whenever we've been held back, I know that when my dad would take the car away from me, I felt enslaved. But we worked it out, because in my house, you couldn't have freedom without taking the responsibility for what that meant. Ernest Holmes writes in The Science of Mind on page 31, "The road to freedom lies not through mysterious or occult performances, but through the intelligent use of nature's forces and laws." See, it's a natural thing. Elizabeth Gilbert in Eat, Pray, Love says, "You need to learn how to select your thoughts just the same ways you select your clothes every day. This is a power you can cultivate. If you want to control things in your life so bad, work on the mind. That's the only thing you should be trying to control." Well, you look at the news, it's telling you something different. So you need to turn that thing off. Put on the spa channel or something. So it is not I, but the spirit within me that does the work. According to Taoism, one's ultimate goal is to live at peace with the way of the Tao and recognize that everything that happens in life should be accepted as part of the eternal force which binds and moves through all things. So likewise, in New Thought, we refer to the thing itself, that invisible essence from which everything comes, the source of all life, the unlimited power and creative intelligence that is present everywhere and in all things as everything. This source creates our individual experience according to the direction of our thoughts, our beliefs, and our intentions. So what are you intending? What do you believe? We are all conduits for the divine. Not only are we conduits for the divine, we are the divine itself in manifest form. One way we bind or imprison ourselves is with our thoughts. The proverbial so-called monkey mind, the endless stream of chatter that leaves us feeling overwhelmed, confused, and paralyzed, is based on the disbelief that we are our thoughts. We are not our thoughts. We are spiritual being expressing thoughts. That voice in our head is really the ego feeding itself. So the Tao of Freedom helps us to stop identifying with that voice and realize that we are not the one who is thinking these thoughts. Rather, we are the one who is aware of the thoughts we are thinking. So get this next point. Knowing yourself as the awareness behind the voice, or becoming aware of our awareness, can truly transform your life. Become aware of your awareness. That is what I call big picture thinking. That's what I believe this teaching is about. Becoming aware of your awareness. And if you don't like it, you can change it by the renewing of your mind. Being receptive to the power within, to the woo-wee without attachment. Woo-wee is part of the Tao. One of the fundamental tenets of Taoism is this woo-wee, which means effortless action, and can be interpreted to mean Action without attachment. Can you have action without attachment? Well, we get so attached, don't we? That's where we fall into the trap of us thinking that it has to be a certain way, and when it doesn't turn out that certain way, we throw a little tantrum, a little fit. So when we release our attachment to a particular outcome and simply allow things to be as they are, we tap into an awareness of a power that is without limit. And that power works in us, through us, and as us because it is us. True freedom lies in knowing that we do not need to harness this power. We need only have an awareness of it and be receptive to its existence. Just be aware of the awareness. Neil Donald Walsh writes in his Conversations with God book, to live your life without expectation, without the need for specific results, that is freedom. That is godliness. That is how I live. So, what about the Tao or the way of water? Or the Tao or the way of healing? Well, I love to use the water analogy because the way of water is that it rises to its own level and then it spills over as it seeks the path of least resistance. I love the path of least resistance. It doesn't mean that you don't have an opinion about something. It just means you don't wrestle about it. What if we were to seek the path of least resistance in our lives? And this doesn't mean that you will fall for anything. It means you must stand for something. Resist not evil. And in metaphysics, we say, resist not error. Turn into the flow. Why do we resist things that can help us heal? Like asking for prayer, or wearing a mask, or washing our hands, or keeping our distance. Why is there such resistance to some of these things that scientifically have been proven to assist us during this time? And this is what I came up with. I don't know if it's something you believe, but I want to share it with you. I found that sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes I resist it because if somebody tells me to do something, I want to find out a way that I don't have to do it. But when it's for our better and highest good, collectively, it's something we need to look at. It means we must roll up our sleeves and get to work spiritually. Now is not the time for complacency. Now is the time for action. So what about the Tao of healing? What is the Tao of healing, or what is the way of healing during this pandemic? I believe we must begin to start acting like source energy, or whatever you believe the power of creation is to you. Start acting as one human family, one divinely connected energy. The more we act like separate entities, unconnected parts, the more away from source we get, the more the illusion of separation takes hold. You know, we are 100 days out from making a big decision in this country. And I'm encouraging everyone to get out. Well, in Oregon, we do have vote by mail, which is still legal. But as you fill that out, call on your highest self. Call on your spiritual energy to vote with love and the love that binds us. So in conclusion, as we become still and look within, and remember our oneness with source energy as source energy and form, we acknowledge that there is one power and a first cause to all things. This power expresses itself in us, through us, and as us because it is us. And as it does with all life, our freedom springs forth from the awareness that this is the truth about us, as we are all one, as God in form. The absolute source of the universe is who we are. But the power of it is only ours when we act the part. The only action we need to take is to accept the divinity within us and within each person that we meet. Nothing could be more liberating than that. And so it is. Well, it's time for our prayer. So if you'd like to close your eyes or take a soft focus on something in your home and just find ourselves going within, let's remember who we are. So I invite you to bring to the forefront of your consciousness what you choose to believe that the energy of the creative wisdom of the universe is. You can call it God or Christ consciousness or Jesus the Christ, great source energy or great spirit. That's your business. You get to call it what you want. But I think we can all understand that there is a power at work, guiding the stars, causing the sun to shine, growing the grass, leafing the trees, and breathing our body, all at the same time. This wondrous power that beats our heart, we are all a part of. We are each united in that field of all opportunity as well. For truly, there is only one of us here. It is the infinite expressing as the countless forms on this plane of existence. So I speak my word of love today, of healing, of revealing the truth that whatever we are walking through, that is revealed in a way that we can make sense of and move forward to see the healing in every situation. I speak a special word of prayer for those people that are on the front lines of what we're walking through with this situation and this virus. And I know that the infinite is right there. That is the infinite doing the work, healing, revealing, and changing the future so that we may all live as one beautiful human energy, having a divine experience. So I may not know what you're walking through today, but I know the infinite does. So I bless each and every individual within the sound of my voice or not, knowing that something wonderful is happening regardless of the appearance. We call in the blessing. We call in the miracles. We call in the love, knowing that something wonderful is happening regardless of the appearance. So we give great thanks for those miracles right here and right now. We give great thanks for the healing and the revealing of higher truth to each one of us in a way that is identifiable, that makes sense to us, and that we can act upon and change this world for the better, because that's why we're here. Because we are free to think, we choose love, we choose healing, and we choose divine right action in every situation. So we let go. We completely release these words directly into that living, loving law of mind, where it is reciprocated in a beautiful and loving way. We let go and we let God be God in our lives, as our lives, because truly there is only one of us here. As we affirm this together by saying, and so it is. Amen. Well, it's time for our offertory, and I just want to address everybody that continues to give, and maybe you haven't given yet and you'd like to, and if you could find a donate button so you could give to our center, we would so appreciate it. It's been a challenging time for a lot of people, and I know that there is a way to make it through. So let's just bless our offertory at this time with these words. And here's our offertory blessing. And it says, I celebrate thoughts of prosperity and abundance. Let's say that again together. I celebrate thoughts of prosperity and abundance. So let's say a prayer for our offertory this morning. For everyone that has given or intends to give or has just given of their love. We know that these tithes and gifts have been collected. They are evidence of our faith, our belief, and our ability to manifest in this world of form. And they do good works in this world. And they allow this center to be open, available, teaching truth and love, knowing that something wonderful is happening. We just accept these gifts and blessings that bless the giver and receiver. And we just are so grateful. Letting it be so, we affirm it by saying, so it is. Thank you.